when you're building a team, I've had this debate many times with friends and colleagues over the years. Ideally, you find your young quarterback, you build the team around him. However, there are certain times when you build the team and then you plop the young quarterback in. Is that something doable, or is having your young quarterback first much more preferential if you are a team builder or a head coach, as you were?
Yeah, it's tougher to do the latter. You know, you can see why New York and I concur that sending Sam Darnold to Carolina made sense because Robert Saleh comes in. I had a chance to visit with him the other day on a podcast that I do, Coach to Coach, and that's usually the formula that when you come in as a coach, if you can get your quarterback, unless there's one there already, but if you need one, to have it right when you get started, and then you build around him. The problem is if you start to build the team and you try to plop them in later, you're going to go through the ups and downs of a young quarterback, and you may not last. We've seen that story time and time again. So, yeah, I do think it makes a difference that if you're going to pick a young quarterback, unless you're an established team, an established head coach that is firm in where you're at, if you're just starting out, you want to start with that young quarterback. That's exactly why I think Urban Meyer took the Jacksonville job, because of his ability to begin with Trevor Lawrence, and I think probably one of the reasons that Robert Saleh was drawn toward the Jets job, having that second overall pick, and could start that process together with his young quarterback.
Dan Hellie filling in for Rich Eisen, talking to Super Bowl winning head coach Brian Billick, who has authored a book on finding the ideal NFL quarterback. So who better to talk to in this draft where every NFL team seemingly so thirsty to find that franchise quarterback, and we're going to see three go 1, 2, 3. That's only happened twice before in NFL history. And you mentioned the 50% bust rate. It was 1971. It was 1999. And there were 6 quarterbacks taken, in the first 3 picks of each of those drafts. And 3 made it and 3 didn't. So there's your 50% bust rate right here. If you're the Falcons, Brian, and you have the 4th overall pick and you have the opportunity to potentially find a future franchise quarterback who could sit for a year behind Matt Ryan, or take maybe the most dangerous offensive weapon in the draft in Kyle Pitts, what do you do?
Yeah, I still think Matt Ryan can play, and I think the Atlanta Falcons can be a good football team. We just said you're a first-time coach. Now's the time to start with a young quarterback. I get that, and if Atlanta wants to do that, fine. Let Matt Ryan go someplace else, and there'll be a lot of suitors. The idea of letting him, okay, we're going to draft a guy, we're going to use that first pick not to make the team better, but to draft a guy, not play him, and now let Matt Ryan continue to take it on, that typically doesn't go well. I mean, yeah, you can look at Kansas City when they did with Patrick Mahomes between Alex Smith, and you look at Jordan Love in Green Bay in behind Aaron Rodgers, but those are 2 good football teams. Atlanta's not a good football team right now. So to put in, no matter who they take, if they take one of these quarterbacks, he's going to start at some point. That's just the way it works. And for Matt Ryan to be that placeholder, I just don't think it's in Atlanta's best interest to do that. I don't think it's Matt Ryan's best interest. If you want to go that route, and I can certainly see that, then let Matt Ryan go someplace else, and there'll be a long line of suitors that wanting to have Matt Ryan.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.